From RDS Smothers Wealth Management, this is The Retirement.
When you retire, if you want an exciting life, you need a boring investment strategy.
Matters.
If you enter into retirement without a plan for income, you're not retired, you're simply unemployed.
Podcast.
Hey, this is your host, Dale Smothers, and you're listening to the Retirement Matters Podcast. My hope is that you will find the information you need in every single show on how to do one of the three things: either saving more money more efficiently, planning better for your future where you can live in retirement worry-free, or my favorite, how you can live a happy and fulfilled life in this life you have been given. We know that your time is valuable and we appreciate you spending it listening to this episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast. On this episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast, we go into the ins and outs of money. We talk about it in our Pause for Positivity in a way that it's a tool to help others. We talk about it in the second section about how it's important to have confidence to spend that money, or else you'll never actually fulfill a confident retirement. In the third section of the show, we really dive into how you can save money in taxes, specifically for our Kentucky listeners. This was a radio show that we recorded and have now put out into the podcast world here where you're listening to it. We have several exclusive podcasts that are only for podcasts, but a lot of our podcasts were once a radio show, and you're probably listening to this a couple of weeks after the fact of it being recorded. Now, if you're a listener to the show on a regular basis, you already know that. If you're not, if you're new to the show, I want you to understand why we're focused specifically on Kentucky. No matter what state you're in, we can help you build the retirement plans that you've desired and imagined. And no matter what state you're in, you likely have strategies that we can deploy for you that are specific to your own unique situation and location in retirement. We work with clients all over the country. This show, however, talks about something called a state retirement income exclusion that's important for you to understand if you live in Kentucky. Many states have it. If yours does, make sure you're utilizing it correctly. And with that out of the way, let's get to this week's episode of the Retirement Matters Podcast. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well and you're ready to start discussing all things retirement matters. This show is going to be full of multiple different segments that pertain to multiple different things you need to be doing on your way towards retirement. Every single week, we come to you with information about your money, about finances, about your investments, about taxes, about Social Security and Medicare and the whole nine yards. We really do cover a lot on this show on a regular basis. And sometimes we have a theme that kind of weaves its way through the entire show. I feel like today we're just going to bounce from one thing to the next because I've got a lot on my mind, a lot of things I want to be able to share with you. And one is going to be a very specific income strategy that you should consider that can save you a substantial amount in taxes. It may even, if you use it in an appropriate way, it could very easily eliminate state income tax from your distributions that you're taking from your IRAs. And we'll discuss all of that as we get into today's show. So all of this is going to be very valuable for you, especially if you are in or approaching income phase. That's really how this show is targeted to assist those individuals, because those individuals, especially, you know this, especially if you're over the age of 59 and a half, you have unique fears and challenges that you have to overcome to be able to live a confident retirement. And it goes much deeper than just, am I investing in the right things? It's when do I need to take Social Security? How are my taxes going to impact Social Security and all the other income that I bring into the family? Do I have enough money to last me throughout the rest of my life? And clearly, is the market going to be able to sustain my lifestyle? What if there's a major market correction? All of these things are front and center. And then if you're close to 65, you've got some big decisions to make, forced decisions that are timely and must be done in a very brief window of time. Social Security is perhaps one you've already made. Maybe it's one you've decided to defer on. But Medicare is front and center. It's right there in front of you at 65. We assist with all of these decisions. We help you understand what your options are, and we help you navigate all of those things while also investing your money and making sure that your money is doing exactly what you want it to do in retirement. and achieving the objectives that you desire. That's what we do every single day. So, this show, it speaks to young people from time to time. And if you're under the age of 59 and a half, especially let's say from 50 to 59 and a half, you probably are very much benefited by some of the things that we say. If you're under 50, there are occasional things that we will lay out specifically for those who are on a growth strategy right now that is aggressive. We're going to talk about one of those today. And so not to keep telling you what we're going to talk about, we can get into it. I just wanted to set the tone for today's show. And with that, when I look down, we are already almost 4 minutes into the show. So let's get with it. This Pause for Positivity is going to be pretty quick, and it's intentionally quick because it's a short story that has a very powerful point. And it's a story that a client told us while they were in office about their desires to help other people with the money that they have accumulated. They've done very well for themselves. They make decent income. They've got a sizable amount of money set aside that they really don't need for income purposes. We've helped navigate through Medicare decisions and Social Security decisions, and we're helping establish a tax plan behind the scenes for this individual to make sure that their taxes are transferred to their loved ones as efficiently as possible, that the tax bill doesn't grow out of proportion. But one of the things they were talking to our advisor team about when they were meeting with us was they really want to be able to give more money away to live their legacy. And they were talking about specifically being able to give it away to strangers. The gentleman that I was speaking with, husband and wife in the plan here, but the gentleman that I was speaking with directly said, I'd like to just walk around and give a $100 bill away here or there, just for people that need it. And you can kind of tell some of those people that need it. And it will not only impact the people that you give that money to, but it impacts you in a positive way. It energizes you. And he said that he was praying to the Lord, this year I would like to give away a little more money. He added it up. He did some quick figuring, and he said he gave away around $1,000 a month last year, about $12,000 a year. And he wanted to give a little more. And, he's not pressed for money by any means, but he didn't know how he was going to give it away. And he had even considered maybe dipping into some of his retirement accounts and giving some away. And he said that just a couple of days went by from that prayer, and he received a letter. There was a letter in the mail asking if he would be interested in perhaps allowing a company to come in and survey his land for cell towers in the area. And he set that letter aside, said, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. A few days go by, he receives a call. And that caller says, listen, I really think that we might, we're looking for multiple areas, multiple places in the area. Yours is going to be one of 3 or 4 that we survey. We might not even choose yours, but we really can't give a valid offer until we look at the land. So this gentleman says, yeah, come on out, take a look at it. It's fine. I don't even know if I want to do this, but give us an idea of what you're thinking. And come to find out, a short story here, they ended up surveying the land and picking this particular land, and they're wanting to give $850 per month extra per month in cash flow to this family just to allow them to put a cell tower on their land. And that contract has some nuances, has some benefits in it. It's a 50-year contract. And he looked at me and he said, that was an answered prayer. That was God saying, here's some money to give away. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you've got to give money away. That's not what this Pause for Positivity is about. But what I do want you to hear from this, we use something called the red car theory in our firm. As our team every week gets together, we try our best to champion a way in which we empowered someone this week, a way in which we blessed someone this week, or maybe even just a way that we positively influence the world around us. And what I have instilled in our team is something we call the red car theory, which is if you look for opportunities, they appear. The reason it's called the red car theory is if I asked you today, how many red cars have you seen in the last 24 hours? It's very unlikely you could tell me. But if I told you over the next 24 hours, every red car you see, you will receive a $100 bill, you're going to be able to tell me exactly how many red cars you see, and you are going to see a lot of them because you're looking for them. This is the same theory with blessing other people or imparting a positive attitude to other people or just a simple smile, changing their world. We call it impacting other people. If you look for opportunities, you will find opportunities to impact people. They are out there. They're out there. Just like the red cars. You pass them every day because you're not looking for them. And I'm talking to myself. I wish I had a mirror here in the studio. If I could, I would say, Dale, you've got opportunities. Go grab the opportunity. Take advantage of that opportunity. Impact people. And this particular person was so intentional about it that he started praying for it. And it's as if God himself literally said, here's a little extra. Now give it away. Here's money for you to be a steward over. Now give it away. That's powerful. That's powerful. If you look for the opportunity to make this world a better place, you will have that opportunity. The world needs more of what you have to give. Go give it. This week, together, me, you, let's challenge each other to make that happen. There's our pause for positivity. We're going to go to a quick break. We're coming back with more Retirement Matters right after this.
You're listening to the Retirement Matters Show with Dale Smothers. Dale is the founder and president of RDS Smothers Wealth Management, serving the residents of Kentucky and Tennessee. We specialize in building retirement plans that allow you to walk away from the worry of running out of money. We are happy that you're listening in and hope you find value in this week's episode. If you'd like to listen to past episodes and find exclusive content and full-length interviews, search for the Retirement Matters podcast on the podcast platform of your choice, or visit us online at rdswealth.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter. That website again is rdswealth.com. If you'd like to chat with a member of our team, you can do so absolutely free by calling 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-PLAN. Visit us online at rdswealth.com and be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's talk for a minute about money in a way that we maybe don't talk about very often. And what I really want to bring up here is kind of a spectrum, if you will. Two ends of the spectrum. One end being extreme wealth, the other end being extreme poverty. Most people fall somewhere in between that spectrum. If we were to think of one end maybe is having no money at all, right? You have no resources to do the things you want to do or need to do. You can't take any trips. You can't help people you love. You can't give away anything because everything that you have is an absolute must for you to even be able to survive. You may spend your time worrying about where the next bill is going to be paid, and you may very easily struggle to enjoy what's in front of you in the moment. That's one end of the spectrum, right? That's the don't have any money at all end. If we go all the way to the other end of the money spectrum, and we find the people that have all the money in the world that they could ever imagine, the filthy rich. What's funny is they have all the money they want. They have all the money that they need. They can do anything they desire to do. However, if they don't have a purpose with that money, they may have a challenge to be able to enjoy what's in front of them because they're always chasing more money. And like I said, most of the people that we talk to, and I would imagine you in particular, you fall somewhere in between that spectrum. So let's maybe bring it in just a little bit from the very edges of the extreme end of poverty or the extreme end of wealth, and let's talk about those edges of what we may call middle America. You know, maybe you have a couple $1 million. You got plenty of money to do whatever you want to do. You can't go out and buy a $300 million yacht, but within reason, you can do just about anything you want to do. And then we'll talk about the other end of the spectrum that's, not really wealthy. They're fine. Cash flow is okay. They don't have a lot of extra money laying around. You see, those people that don't have a lot of extra money laying around sometimes maybe fall prey to credit cards, or they fall prey to spending tomorrow's money today. And that in itself needs a little intervention. But what I really want to focus in on for the next 2 minutes is this piece of the spectrum where you have enough money to do whatever you desire to do, but so many people lack the confidence to spend that money efficiently. Those are the people we talk to almost daily. Before we're able to work with them, they have done the right thing. They have stayed away from debt. They've stayed away from spending more than they make. They've worked hard to make more money, and they've worked very diligently to put away money. They've saved it. They have amassed $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. And you may think, wow, $5 million, how can you ever have any worries or fears about spending money? Yet without a plan, see, because it doesn't matter how much you have accumulated, it's about how much you need to retire. We work with retirees who have $300,000 or $400,000 in South Central Kentucky that retire very well because they don't need that money to live the lifestyle they desire. The fixed income that they're getting is more than enough. We talk to people who have $4 or $5 million and they need $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year to sustain their lifestyle, and they are in very much serious jeopardy of running out of money without a real plan in place. That's where we come in. And so I want you to think about, no matter how much money you have, you may not be on that $4 or $5 million spectrum, but maybe you're on the $500,000, $1 million, $2 million spectrum end. Do you have the confidence to spend that money on the things you desire? Do you have the confidence to know that if long-term care comes up, I know where I'm pulling that money from? Long-term care being, I can't take care of myself. I need help in my house. I don't want to have to go to a nursing home. I want them to come to me. Do you know where that money's going to come from? Do you know that the farm, the house, the land that you own, the money itself is not going to be taken away from you because of the nursing home stay if you're forced to do that? Well, that's, again, where this planning comes in. And this is what we do with our clients. We build that insulation around their assets to make sure that that doesn't happen. What about Medicare decisions? You know, no matter how much money you have to make the right Medicare decisions for you and your family. You think about Medicare, that's a $400 to $500 expense. And if you do it incorrectly, it can be as much as almost a $2,000 expense between you and your spouse if you do it incorrectly. If you do it at the wrong time, you can suffer penalties for life. And if you select the wrong plan, you can have out-of-pocket expenses that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And once you have crossed a certain time frame, you can't make a change. Or at least you can't make a change without paying for it. These things are important for no matter where you are in the spectrum to be able to retire confidently. But when we think about the income plan and the tax plan and the investment plan, those three specific plans really start to weigh on people that retire with that $500,000 to $1.5 million number, maybe even going into the $2 million number, where they need money to retire. They maybe have some dreams and goals and ambitions of traveling and doing certain things, but they don't have the confidence to go do that. They don't have the confidence to give some money away. They don't have the confidence to set up a fund for their kids. They don't have the confidence to take the trip of a lifetime that they've always imagined, or maybe take 2 or 3 trips, several trips in a row. Maybe they want to take the grandbabies with them, but can they afford it? This is where we build plans for living with your money with confidence. You see, what we do is we invest your money in certain things that, depending on what your goals are, it could range from stocks to bonds to CDs to annuities to money markets to fixed structured notes to options to all of these things that we can look at. And where you should put your money becomes very clear once we understand how you need to access your money. And this is what we do for you in building a plan that gives you those confident pieces, knowing, hey, no matter what comes my way, I have a hand to play in that moment. If you do not have that, you can have all the money you desire. But if you don't have that, it's going to be challenging to live a confident retirement. And so over the last couple of minutes, I just wanted to mention to you that retirement is so much more than just amassing a large amount of money. When you get ready to walk into retirement income phase, if you don't have those questions answered, you're going to have a hard time confidently walking into that retirement you've always imagined. And if you don't have those questions answered, you need to give our team a call. 270-600-PLAN. We can help you answer the question of, do I have enough? What happens if? When I am ready, can I, whatever that may be, take the trip, set up the pension fund, set up the trust fund, whatever it is, right? Those questions are what we help you do every single day. We help you answer those. And we do that because we're not just here to try and sell you a mutual fund or a stock or a bond. We manage your money appropriately in whatever it takes to make your dreams a reality. And then we assist you. And our commitment is that when we partner with a client, we don't partner with everyone, but when we partner with a client, we know that we can bring value to their table in helping them pay less in taxes, earn more in income, maximize Social Security, make the right choices in Medicare, protect against long-term care disasters, and also know that their income in their retirement is secured. That's what we do. If you need help with that, give us a call or navigate to our website, rdswealth.com. Set up a time for us to reach out to you, and somebody on our team will give you a call at a time that's convenient for you and really start discussing what these next steps should look like. It's a 15 to 20 minute call that could change the next 15 to 20 years of your life. And we would love an opportunity to get that started today. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to pivot for just a minute to a topic about taxes and how to save you on future tax bills, specifically those who are married in the state of Kentucky and pulling money from their IRAs. If you're doing it inefficiently, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table. Or even worse, if you're doing it incorrectly, you could be sending a lot more money to the IRS than you have to. We're going to talk about that as soon as we come back, right after this.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Matters, presented by RD Smothers Wealth Management. If you'd like to speak with us, give us a call at 270-600-PLAN. And if you enjoy the information in this show and would like to hear more, you can access previous shows by searching for the Retirement Matters podcast on the podcast platform of your choice. We also produce a weekly newsletter. Receive it free to your email inbox by signing up online at rdswealth.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about taxes and how to save them. If you can spend less money in tax, it's the same as if you had made more money in the market without taking any extra risk. We know this to be true, and it's very important when you enter into retirement income phase. So how can we save money in taxes on the state tax return? Well, here's the thing. We ran into a retiree just recently that when we started reviewing their withdrawal strategy from another firm, they brought their information over after working with another local advisor, and there was money being pulled out of their IRA for the family, husband and wife, and they were pulling out about $50,000 a year. The only issue is that money was coming from one IRA as opposed to both husbands and wives. And for that reason, it was costing them in taxes. And all of that really results in just not having a true income plan. Instead, it's just a withdrawal strategy, and barely a withdrawal strategy at that. What we were able to do is make a few tweaks, show them better ways, show them better investments, move their assets over to our management, and from that point forward, start sending them the same amount of income with less tax immediately. That was beneficial for them. And it can definitely be beneficial for a lot of people. And when I saw this, another advisor brought it to my attention that this was happening. I wanted to bring it to the radio. I thought this was common knowledge for most advisors, but if it's not, here's the thing. If you're not structuring a true income plan, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table for a tax plan as well. Here's how it works. In the state of Kentucky, they will allow you to withdraw up to $31,110 per year from an IRA for the year of 2026 per individual, and no taxes are assessed against that income. If you're pulling that from an IRA, 401k, a pension, you don't pay tax on that money. That's powerful. Now, you still got to pay your federal tax, but the state of Kentucky doesn't make you pay taxes on that. And you would think, okay, well, I knew that, Dale, or maybe you didn't. But if you can use this appropriately, and you've got a husband and wife, let's say, that's pulling in this scenario $50,000 a year from it, it would be better to pull 25 and 25 or 31,000 and the remainder, let's say 19,000 from the other spouse's IRA. It's a little bit of a challenge administratively and definitely challenges, whoever's helping you manage this. That's why we have such a powerful team behind us at RDS Wealth to make sure that that is done correctly. But what it ends up doing is saving you in taxes throughout the year. Our team here at RDS Wealth makes sure that we are utilizing these exclusions just like this one. Again, $62,000 worth of income in the state of Kentucky. That's nearly $2,000 per year of additional tax that you would otherwise be paying if you didn't have a team like ours helping you navigate the income phase. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Now, this is one of many things that we see in the tax plan, but this is such a common mistake. When I started looking, I thought, there's probably a lot of people that are making this mistake, and I wanted to bring this to the radio because I want you to take this back and immediately start changing the way that you withdraw from your plan. If you need help with that, you call our team, 270-600-PLAN. We need to make sure that we're utilizing the right exemptions for the state that you are in. Our Tennessee listeners don't have to worry about this. State tax doesn't matter for you. But there are other things, especially on the federal side, that we bring to the table that we just essentially are able to structure the way that we withdraw money in a more appropriate way to help offset taxes. That's what we do, and that's what your retirement income advisor must do for you. You may think, well, Dale, why don't all advisors do this? Well, because they're not built for income phase. They're built for growth phase. They're really good at what they do, perhaps on the growth side. But when it's time to start planning for income phase, and we like to say that's right around 59 and a half, no matter when you plan on retiring, at 59 and a half, it's time to start focusing like a laser beam on what it's going to look like when you retire. And if you do that incorrectly, not only could it cost you a lot of money, but it'll leave things unanswered for you, which then leads you into an unconfident retirement. And there's nothing worse for me to see than a retiree who retires without confidence to truly do what they desire, or at least know you can't do what you desire because what you desire is too much. You need that confidence and you need that clarity. And what we find most of the time is that most of the people that we talk to with just a few little tweaks can achieve the objectives and the desires that they want, because the people we talk to over the age of 59 and a half, just like you, have saved their money and put it to work in the right places. Now it's just time to make that money do what it's supposed to do. Like last week when we talked about every dollar needs a job, we essentially are the taskmasters for your money, making sure that they go to work and those dollars are doing what they're supposed to do while you're out enjoying your life and the retirement you've always imagined. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more Retirement Matters for just a minute as we wrap up today's show right after this.
You're listening to the Retirement Matters Show with Dale Smothers. Dale is the founder and president of RDS Wealth Management. We specialize in building retirement plans that allow you to walk away from the worry of running out of money. If you'd like to chat with a member of our team, you can do so absolutely free by calling 270-600-PLAN. That's 270-600-PLAN. Visit us online at rdswealth.com and be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter.
All right, welcome back to the show. You may have heard this story last week. If you did, great. If you didn't, here it is for the first time. A monkey and a giraffe sitting on the bank of the river, both wondering how deep the river was. The giraffe decided to step in and give it a shot. When the monkey called in to the giraffe, the monkey said, "How deep is it?" And the giraffe said, "It's not that deep. It's only up to my neck." And the moral of this story is that would have been very deep for the monkey, not deep for the giraffe. Just like investments and planning for retirement, no plan should look the same. Every single plan, every single retiree has unique challenges, fears, goals, desires. All of these things need to be addressed inside of your plan. And what works for you may not work for your neighbor, and vice versa. What works for your neighbor, your friends, your relatives probably isn't going to work for you. Let me drop a couple quick things that you need to at least understand as you enter into retirement, and then we'll discuss how you can get in touch with our team right as we're wrapping up today's show. Here it is, rapid fire. First of all, in your tax plan, know that Social Security is taxed based off of how much other income you make. And depending on where you are in the amount of income you need, Making the right moves with that other income and how it gets to your bank account can change the way that taxes are assessed against your Social Security. This can save you a lot of money. You also need to be aware that in market dips, in market corrections, don't overreact, but instead take advantage of opportunities to consider Roth conversions. Again, this is the giraffe and the monkey scenario. May be right for you, may not be right for your neighbor. Here's a couple things, real quick things that you can take back to your existing plan. And if you find that it's something you want to maybe explore a little bit more about, give us a call, 270-600-PLAN, or navigate to our website, rdswealth.com. Set up your time for our team to reach out to you today. All right, and just like that, we are at the end of the show. I enjoy getting to talk to you every single week when we get to talk on this station. You know, at the end of the day, what our goal is to make sure that we're giving you the right information you need to obtain the desired retirement you've always worked for and imagined. And I want to give you one real quick piece of advice. Do not try to go at this alone. If our team can help you, let us know. We'd be happy to at least point you in the right direction and tell you what your next step should look like. That starts with a simple phone call. Listen, until we talk again, whether it's in person in one of our offices, whether it's on the phone, maybe I'm the guy that picks up the phone when you call the office, or it's right here on this same station, I want you to always remember, save money, plan well, and live happy in retirement. God bless.
Investing involves a risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. RDS Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by RDS Wealth Management.